Behind the cape. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's talk about the canceled Pharrell musical. We had talked about this some weeks ago, and Pharrell was working on a musical with, is it Michael Gondry? Michelle Gondry?
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to star Haley Bailey and a few other people. I think Missy Elliott was supposed to be in it.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately, even though it was in the post-production process, canceled it.
That's nuts. So an entirely shot film, honestly. So, and everybody's been paid too. This story is just very weird. It's strange. So it was already feeling like, Pharrell Williams was getting his payoff from Universal for all the work he put in with the Despicable Me franchise and the Grinch. All those projects have been exceedingly popular, along with the soundtracks and the musical scores that he's composed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the Lego movie that he had going on and this musical about his life were the payoff. Like, all right, we go ahead, we'll do these. The fact that this film is never going to see the light of day. This isn't a situation where, Universal doesn't want it anymore and they'll sell it to somebody else. This is a situation where they've paid for the movie. All the actors and people who worked on the movie have been paid for their time and work. But this movie is never going to be seen because they didn't finish editing it. It's going to be wiped. Like, it's done. We will never see it. They shot an entire movie that will just live in the ether, I guess. Something happened beyond, we just decided that we couldn't put it out. Horse shit. You were in the editing phase of this film. Everybody got their checks. There's zero shot that y'all just was watching this and was like, it's unreleasable. Something happened, yo.
Is it because the Lego movie didn't do all that great?
I don't know. I have no clue. But I feel very strongly about this. There's more to this story. I don't know when we'll get it out. I don't know if we ever will get it out. But there's something else that's going on here. This is weird.
Well, first of all, I didn't even realize the Lego movie had already come out. First of all. Second of all, $8 million domestically after 2 weeks is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, granted, it had a $16 million budget. So that's the other thing. Is like, you're not even really giving him a budget. So, like,
I think this one was like 80, though.
80?
This film was like 80 million.
Okay, well, then maybe this one could have did better, especially with the star-studded cast.
I mean, I was surely excited about it. But again, it seems like the struggles were internal. It doesn't sound like it came from the studio because the studio paid for everything. If there was some sort of conflict with the studio, they'd be talking, we need a tax break. We're not going to pay you this bonus. We're not going to pay you this salary. They're trying to nickel and dime because they're trying to get money back. Mm-hmm. No, they paid to make this shit go away. So it feels like something was bad. Was the movie absolutely atrocious? Was there some scandal on set that they wanted to end quietly? Was there some sort of parting of the marriage between Universal and Pharrell? What is the deal? Did the boy put in a call to Universal? Like, I'll drop this lawsuit if y'all, cut ties with Mr. Williams. We making backroom deals with Lucien. What's going? Put my tinfoil hat on. Because something else happened here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Something else happened.
Something. I don't know what it was, but I feel like this was much more promising than the Lego movie. But again, they didn't promote the Lego movie, so whatever it was, it probably happened back then, and they're still like, all right, whatever.
Very weird occurrence. Don't really see that happen like that.
For sure.
We'll see.
They just didn't want to put out that musical.
Okay.
All right. Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers in Q1. Mm. It is still Q1.
Don't say Q1 like
it was January.
Like we've worked into the fiscal quarter a sizable amount. It's February, dog. They lost 700,000 subscribers
in January.
In a month, in 30 days. Okay, it's because, you can put a lot of factors to that. They're not really serving their audiences. What they are serving their audiences is trash. Nobody's watching it. There was nothing new in the month of January, I don't think.
No.
Nothing anybody was really clamoring for, at least.
No, Marvel or Star Wars.
Yeah, down almost 1 million subs. Sounds about right.
That's crazy.
Okay. I mean, seems like they're on the highway to hell to me, but
Meanwhile, Netflix is out here making Little House in the Prairie
making big
reboots.
moves. Yeah, making big moves.
Crazy.
I don't see how you could bolster numbers like that and then still take some of the hardline stances on their IPs that they do. I don't see how you could take some of the losses that they've taken over the last couple of years. Damn, a quarter. What has it been? What do the last 5 years looked like for Disney fiscally? I would love to see a chart of that. And the leadership stay intact so seamlessly. Like who's getting booted? All the DEI hires.
Of course.
You know, they fired someone in Lucasfilm. They fired a black woman in Lucasfilm like 2 weeks ago because she was part of the DEI initiative.
Yep.
So, never mind. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, no, that's terrible. It's absolutely freaking awful, and I would be looking to do anything I could to, turn that around. Especially if I knew that I had a stinker coming up with Captain America. You know that movie is tracking. They have the official range from 86 million to 105 million. First of all, the difference between 86 million and 105 million is night and day. So the fact that they're giving you that wide of a range is telling you they're trying to hide their true feelings about the movie.
Right.
If you make 105 the first weekend, it's okay. All right, it's not probably not going to be number one, but maybe you'll make it to the finish line. You'll make a profit. 86. And then you get the standard 50-60% drop after the first weekend. There's nowhere to go after that.
Yeah.
105, okay, you still got a little bit of wiggle room. There's a chance for the word of mouth to hold it consistent for a week or two at 100. There's no consistent at 86. There's you haven't even made your budget back after the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's not really telling me much about the film. They're trying to hide what the movie is actually tracking for. It's probably somewhere in the middle, but not far off that 86. I'd say maybe around 90-ish.
For sure. Perp said, I'm surprised it ain't more. 700,000 is low.
For a loss, that's huge.
I think he meant like.
I'm saying he expect him to lose more. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Luke Skywalker is coming to Galaxy Edge.
I'm confused. I'm very confused. Disney had a hotel. 2023. It closed in 2023. They had a hotel where you can go stay there and have a Star Wars voyage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, it was way too expensive. And that was for the first problem. But the idea is that while you're there on your stay, you'd have a Star Wars voyage. So you'd go on you'd have some sort of saga to play out at the different amenities and attractions in the hotel, right? You even sleep in a Star Cruiser. But the problem is that they based the amenities and the events and stuff off of the prequel saga or the sequel saga, the Rey stuff. So instead of R2D2, it's BB-8 and all of the other shit, right? All the mixes and matches.
Okay.
So obviously that shit went on belly under. They didn't book it. Nobody wanted to do the shit. I'm here for the
original Star Wars.
It was terrible. So now they're going to Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars park in Disney, and you're bringing back Luke. So you had this $1 billion investment over here, this new thing that you're trying to get up and running, but it's like fuck Luke Skywalker. Like, he doesn't come over here. We don't need that guy. No Obi-Wans, no Darth Vaders.
No Darth Vader.
Get that shit out of here.
We don't need none of that.
We're getting the damn. We're getting like Luke Skywalker and Galaxy's Edge now after you closed the Star Wars hotel. First thing it tells me is that it feels a little bit too late. Only if there's a change in leadership coming. Is this the first signal that the righting of the ship is happening at Lucasfilm at least? I couldn't imagine that Kathleen Kennedy was very excited about making Luke Skywalker an attraction at Galaxy's Edge. Because again, she's been at the forefront of the anti-Luke Skywalker campaign at Lucasfilm as long as it's been there. So I couldn't imagine that was something that made her very happy. And then also they try to match product with ongoing IP. So what does this mean for Star Wars?
Yeah.
As far as official announcements go, this is much better than what I'm currently getting at Marvel. So had to mention it.
Right. DeMarcus Vaughn, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in W's and L's, talking about the Drake album.
Okay.
Ora said, did you see that Disney Plus changed their terms of service so that no subscription can avoid ads, essentially?
What? So even the non-subscription, the non-ad subscriptions can't avoid ads?
That's what he said.
So what, you just going to get like, only one ad per?
Probably.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
All right.
Well, but they're hurting. They need all the ad revenue they can get off of this thing because they're hemorrhaging subscribers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Looks like we got a first look at Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Fam, this shit looks eerily similar to Avatar, like actual Aang Airbender Avatar. They look like air nomads. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if this was an original design, but when they got to the point of the air tribes, they had to have been thinking, all right, we've always kind of run congruently with the cartoon in terms of name and title. Like the similarities between us have been very, very vague. This almost is putting it at a 1-to-1. You got the Earth tribe that we started the series with. You got the Water tribe that he went to in the second book. Now we on to the Air tribe, the Air nomads, and they look exactly like Aang and them's people. Mm-hmm. All right, James Cameron, this is starting to get a little bit hacky. It's starting to get a little bit hacky. You was giving them quotes before about breaking the mold every time and all that other shit.
This is him making major changes.
This
major
is giving
risks.
stolen. This is giving co-opted.
You have to take major risks so that you're
the major risk of co-opting someone else's story.
Yeah, to make it better.
Okay, because we're also getting the Fire Nation.
Yeah,
dog. Is this nigga copying Avatar: Last Airbender like to a T?
No, what's that? What even is that?
Okay.
This is Avatar.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay. The Flash game was scrapped. Why do I feel like there was another game that was scrapped recently?
Constantine. There was a Constantine game as well, so they were working on two Flash games. Two games at Warner Brothers. The Flash game got canceled after the movie bombed, which is obviously.
Sure.
Constantine video game. Can we get a TV show, a mini series, a movie?
No, video
like
game.
a Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves first before we start talking about a video game.
Can we get a John Wick video game?
That shit would be heat. That shit would be heat. You know what that remind me of? Do you remember the video game for the Matrix that came out around the time of the Matrix Reloaded?
At the time, that game was sweet.
That shit was so hard. That game
was sweet.
Was so hard.
Looking back at that, I seen it like a year or two ago. That shit was trash.
Was it? Looking at it now.
I mean,
mean now.
Yeah, I mean, graphics wise, because it looked so ahead of its time.
At the time.
But now you look at it, it's like, what the fuck was I playing? But to be fair, it was still at the time. It was
probably
still
pop that joint in right now.
It was fire.
But I still play NCAA on PlayStation 3, so that's me.
Yeah, we gotta get you into this.
Still playing Mario Kart and
well,
like
Mario Kart is Mario Kart. You can play the oldest Mario Kart.
Okay. What's the difference between PlayStation old consoles and Nintendo old consoles?
That's a good question. Well, all of them are like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
Like if you play old Nintendo consoles, it's culturally acceptable. If you play old Sony consoles, it's like, you're broke, aren't you?
Get away with PlayStation 1.
Brokey!
PlayStation 1 or 2. But then after that, it's
what the hell's wrong with the PlayStation 3?
Everything.
So it's valid if you're playing PlayStation 1 or 2. It's invalid if you're playing 3?
Only because
these are completely arbitrary rules.
We was on 360 back then.
The 360 is the worst game system ever known to man.
No, eventually it would become that.
The 360
if you got
was
the
worst game system known to man.
We was on 360, bro.
Who is we?
Everybody.
No, dog.
Everybody who was outside was on 360, bro.
Yeah, okay.
We was playing Call of Duty on 360. You feel me?
That's that Bill Gates brainwashing. He made y'all think
Well,
everybody.
no, because we on PS5 now, and we all mad because the PSN went out for a whole 24 hours.
Yeah, biggest gaming network in the world. It happens from time to time.
It should not be happening.
It shouldn't happen ever.
It should never.
A network
happen.
should never fail.
Not for 24 hours.
Okay, I don't know what you expect.
Perp says 360 was dope. Stop the cap, Marcus.
Blouse, boy, it was catching cancer. Everybody's game system caught cancer.
Mine didn't.
There's nothing dope about that.
I never caught it.
There's nothing dope about about cancer spreading across all your friends' game systems.
I never caught a red
Was
ring.
never a thing with Sony systems.
That's cap. Stop the cap, Marcus.
You must have liked it. You must have been a Halo fan, and that's okay if you really liked Halo.
Call of Duty.
You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty was on PlayStation as well.
Sure, but it wasn't.
It was on PlayStation as well.
You
it was actually one of the first games that was split.
You had to be in those Black Ops lobbies on 360.
Fam, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit.
That's
nobody gives
everybody.
a shit.
Everybody was
because
there.
If you can't play the game, then you weren't there.
You wasn't outside if you didn't have a 360 on those Black Ops.
Blouse.
You wasn't outside, bro.
First of all, again, this is literally Bill Gates brainwashing because he's trying to
we on PS5 now.
He's trying to convince you that the 360 was ever more popular than any of the Sony consoles that it was bookending. The PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3. The Xbox came out.
I think we're about the same as far as popularity.
Hold on. PlayStation 1, Xbox. Then it was PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. Then it was PlayStation 3.
It was PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And it was PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
The 360 came out just before the PlayStation 3. Because they were mixed generationally. We had the first gen PlayStation, the square rectangle box one that you had to pop the tab open. Yeah, right.
There wasn't a Microsoft.
Then you had the slim version of that PlayStation, right? When we got the PlayStation 2, that's when we had already had the Xbox. By the time we got the PlayStation 2, we already had an Xbox. It was the big fat black thing that nobody was really fucking with anyway.
Yeah, nobody was fucking with that.
Then they revamped it. We had the Xbox 360. That was before the PlayStation 3. The first gen Xbox 360 came out before the first gen of PlayStation 3.
All right, hold on. First Xbox 2001. Okay. So then that, I guess that might read. I think PlayStation 2 was around then. No, PlayStation 2 came out first, but
That's what I just said.
Did you?
PlayStation 2 came out before the Xbox.
Before the slim version of the PlayStation 1 came out.
Before the PS2.
1 or 2? PlayStation 1 or 2?
Slim version? PlayStation 1.
This is saying PlayStation 2
came out before the slim version 1?
No, there's no way. No. PlayStation 2 came out before the Xbox. For the Xbox One.
Damn, so then it was really far down the line.
Yeah.
They were really far. I thought they were at least in between the 1 and the 2. I didn't know they were after the 1 and 2. So we had PlayStation 1, PlayStation Slim, PlayStation 2. Then we had the regular ugly-ass box-ass Xbox.
Terrible Xbox, yeah.
Okay. So then you had that. Then we had PlayStation 3.
With the
then
360.
You have Xbox 360.
Yeah.
We're already 4 generations ahead of you. From that standpoint alone.
No, the Slim don't count.
How does the Slim don't count?
Because every generation had a Slim. Every PlayStation had a Slim.
No.
It's like
Slim, the first Slim, the PlayStation 1 Slim was the first one that you had an internal hard drive in.
It's like the iPhone and the iPhone S.
No, it changes the game from going to memory sticks to no memory sticks. Changes the game. Completely changed the game. The PlayStation 1 had those fat ass memory sticks that you're playing and play your games.
The PlayStation 2.
No, it didn't. It had an internal hard drive.
Or it had a memory card.
The PlayStation
2 had memory cards. PlayStation 2 had memory cards. I remember. The PlayStation 1 had the gray ones. And then the PlayStation 2 had the black ones. Or if you got them from like GameStop, you probably got one of the fake ones that were
but the Slim version didn't have it at all. The hard drive was internal. So why would they have gone back to
PlayStation
cards?
2 memory card.
I don't even recall. Yeah.
You don't remember these? I feel like I've seen a million of these at your house.
No, you probably have. I'm just not putting it together right now.
I guess. Anyway, rabbit hole.